You're not as bad as you think. Now, if that message alone doesn't make sense to you, then I don't think this is the video for you. So, feel free to click off. But today I just wanted to get on here. No edits. I know it's very, stereotypical to do that as like a new YouTuber, but no edits, no funny business, no intro. I just kind of want to talk about you're not as bad as you think. And stereotypically, of course, I'm playing Minecraft. Very predictable, I know, very original, but I had nothing else to play, so we're gonna work with it. I'm gonna turn back on the music real quick because I had to turn off the intro. But oh gosh, hope you guys like my skin. I made it a long time ago, but the reason why I wanted to make this video is because, at least for me personally, over the summer, I was just outside just now. I realized that I haven't really done the best that I could do as a person, haven't made all that I can. I haven't done all that I can. There was a whole lot of things, especially at the beginning of summer, that I wanted to do that I just didn't end up doing. And so I feel like that made me feel like I'm not as good of a person or something. And if you can, that's kind of loud. Sorry, at least for me it is. Yeah, and if you feel like a similar way, I just wanted to talk about how, you're not that bad. Obviously, I'm gonna assume that that's the way you're thinking. So if you're not thinking that way, it might not make a lot of sense. But anyways, let's get to it. You're not as bad as you think, and the reason I say that is because I think a lot of people compare themselves to others. Myself included. I'm talking about myself here. Remember, I think a lot of people compare themselves to, somebody they look up to, or or even like the best version of themselves. And I think that to an extent that's healthy, but I also think that you do have to recognize kind of how far you've come. I feel like especially I do it the most. I personally compare myself the most to other people. Is my mic on? Oh, bless. Personally compare myself to other people the most when I'm not doing good. When I'm doing great, like doing a lot of good work, a lot of stuff like that, very disciplined, I don't find myself really comparing myself to other people or even myself, because I feel like I'm kind of telling myself, kind of conditioning myself that level of work and that exceptional, level that I'm performing at should be the norm. But it's not. I'm not a robot. I'm not built to, perfectly make things and do it correctly the first time every single time. So I feel like that's a bit unfair to compare, only compare yourself when you're worst, like when you're at your lowest. I think that's very unfair to yourself. And I think that, sorry if that was loud, but, budget's low, so I can't really fix the mic situation here. But anyways, and I feel like, especially like when it comes to comparing to other people, you're comparing people to like their highest moments usually. Like when we're talking about things that people go like famous for, whether it be an athlete, whether it be a YouTuber, whether it be a music artist, right? They've already reached sort of the pinnacle of their career. They've gone through the tough times, and that's the result. So to compare the result of somebody else's hard work behind the scenes to your unfinished behind the scenes is a bit unfair, I would say. And so that's why I kind of wanted to say to somebody if they need it, and kind of also myself, that I see some pink trees over there. I'm gonna go over there. That seems cool. And so that kind of means like you're not as bad as you think. You're not failing as much as you think. You can't be expected to be doing perfect all the time. And I think at least at my age, becoming an adult, I think that's a very important lesson to realize, to allow yourself to continue growing. Because I think when you cultivate those type of ideas in your head, you almost stop your growth. Like the second I started thinking that way, I was just unable to perform at all. It wasn't a motivator; it was a demotivator by telling myself things like that. So, yeah, be a little bit. Golly, I started. Be a little bit easier on yourself. Failing is okay. Everybody fails, and I think that even if you're not religious, I think when we're talking about God, right? If we were to, I am religious, by the way. Jesus is my savior and whatnot. Not trying to, it's not an advertisement or nothing. But anyways, This video is for everybody, even if you're not religious. But when we're thinking about religion, right? We're thinking about how God is portrayed, at least the God in Christianity. God does not tell people, this is the creator of the universe, the creator of all good. You know, I would say, the creator of love. So when we're talking about the creator of love, joy, peace, all the good things, right? And God does not tell you that your value comes from doing good. I think that he says, well, not I think that he says, but he says that your value comes from him. He has made you valuable, and we're not perfect. We're sinful at nature, and we still have to come to him. But I think it's important to know, and obviously you can disagree with me. I'm not here to, make it. If you disagree, you're free to go. I'm not here to debate or anything, okay? But if we were to assume what I'm saying is correct, which is what I believe, right? Then the creator of the universe says that you don't have to do anything beyond understanding that he is your creator. He's not telling you to go out there and, get 1 million subscribers. That's not what makes you good. That's not what makes you, I don't know if it makes sense, but that's not what makes you. Yeah, that's not what makes you valuable. You're not valuable by the work of your hands, but kind of more what's inside your heart. And I think that that's important, that the creator who literally created everything is telling you that you don't have to create anything. So I think that that's a good indicator on the fact that, do you really need to be doing the best all the time? Obviously, it's good to get things done, and I like getting things done. That's the thing. But is that really necessary all the time? I don't think so. So I think that, everybody's gonna mess up quite a bit, actually. And I think that's okay. I think you have to give yourself some breathing room here. I think you have to understand that it's really not that bad. Everybody goes through this. If you're failing, then you're on the right path. That's what I would say. So again, to reiterate the title. Sorry, excuse me, I'm about to burp. Oh. Alright, sorry. That was weird. Anyways, to reiterate the title. You're not as bad as you think. Everybody's gonna mess up. Nobody's perfect. I mean, all these things and you hear them 1 million times, but to internalize them is kind of what makes the difference. And also, I do have to apologize if the video sucks. I'm just freestyling off the top of my head while playing the game as well, so it's a bit, it's a bit difficult. But, the main reason why I wanted to make this video is because comparing yourself to, your best is really unfair. And I think that if you're going to be fair to yourself, you should also... Is it actually getting dark? This is so cooked. Dude, this is so cooked. I feel like if you're going to compare yourself to, at your worst, then you have to recognize how far you've come. There's a version of you that is going through this tough time and didn't click this video. And I think that you've come a long way from that person because you're not that person. You click this video. And I think to click this video is to want to understand kind of... I need one more sheep, bro, please. I think to click on this video, taking apart money, I don't make... What the hell? I don't make money or anything. I'm just doing this for the love of the game, right? So to click this video to you is you making a first step to trying to figure out maybe why you feel this way or what you should do about this. Oh, goodness. That was so clutch. I'm the best, bro. So, yeah. So, hey, good job. Congratulations for clicking on this video. Take it one day at a time, one step at a time. I think that if you're to push yourself too much, you're going to get burnt out ridiculously fast. Trust me, I've been there. And again, I'm saying all of these things from somebody who's... Okay, that eating is loud. I'm just going to eat real quick. I'm saying all of these things from somebody who was also at the bottom, I mean, I set out all these goals for myself this summer, getting a certification. I wanted to do volunteering hours. I wanted to make mad videos, do all this wonderful things. And what's another thing? There was one other thing I wanted to do. I wanted to talk to the HUDs, bro. But, I have none of that. I literally have none of that. And so, but does that really make me worse? No. I've made an effort, I've done what I could, and I think that to push myself further is almost to tell myself that, I kind of like these flowers from my offhand. think to push myself further is to almost say that the work that I've done right now is, non-existent. And I think that it's kind of like, why would I do more work? Like, what's at the end of the tunnel that's so great? I'm not going to be more happy, if I were to get that certification. I'm not going to be more happy if I was to, get a girlfriend, or at least force and rush a relationship. So if none of these things make me happy, why is it what I desire? And I think that also does come back, it almost circles around back to my earlier point about social media. Seeing people who are successful, it does something to you. And I don't think it's normal. I feel like when we're looking at social media, I feel like you have to recognize that these things were not, I don't think the human brain was really conditioned to be have access to all these things at the same time, and so easily as well, to be able to compare yourself to the pinnacle of the pinnacle, so oh my gosh, bro, oh my goodness, dude, look at these guys. Let me put down my weapon. Wait, y'all want some food, bro? Yeah, y'all want some food? It's all my food, but hey, gotta let the bros eat good, you feel me? Yeah, hey, the whole gang eat. Oh, you already ate? Hey, y'all have a good day, man. But anyways, I do think that social media has kind of made it so insane to the fact you could see the pinnacle, the absolute pinnacle of, oh my gosh, oh shoot, I heard a skeleton. You can see the absolute pinnacle of somebody's field just like at your fingertips, and you see that like 5 times over. Think about all these alpha males, you know what I'm saying, crypto bros, hella money, whatever, right? You're seeing the pinnacle of I'm gonna run away. Seeing the pinnacle of somebody's field, and you're comparing yourself to that, not knowing that it's a facade. There's definitely some people who have it like that, but for a lot of people it's a facade. For a lot of people, they're lying because that's what makes them money. And so I think that when we're trying to compare yourself and use social media as a way to gauge yourself with like your value, like, nah, man, that's not healthy, bro. You can't do that. That's not fair, because these systems are in place to make money. They're trying to how do you say it, commoditize? That's not it. Commodify, maybe. I'm not great with words, if you can't tell. They're trying to commodify, your feelings of inadequacy and comparing yourself to others. It's become a product now. They make money off of making you feel like you have to be these other people. And so it's important to distance yourself from that. But I think that the main point, again, circling back, because I got no script, right? Circling back is, whether you believe it or not, God loves you for a reason. Okay, He made you, and everything's gonna be all right. Everything's gonna be all right. You don't have to be. I wonder what's over here. You don't have to be at the top of your game. You don't have to be the greatest of all time. You don't even have to be good at what you do. But make an effort and make yourself 1% better, because 1% better is infinitely better than 0% better. Yeah, I know I'm spinning some bars right now, but I really do mean it. I feel like, oh shoot, I feel like it's probably said a lot of times that, oh, get that 1% in, but truly, like, if you're a perfectionist, because I am, it's really hard. It's really, oh shoot, I thought I just died. Crouch button. It's really hard to let yourself improve by 1%, because for me, it's like after that 1%, I want to keep doing more. But the important thing is time, especially at my young age. I'm a young jit. I'm a little jit, right? I can't expect myself to really be performing at, the levels of people who have been at this for 3-4 years, not 9 years. There's YouTubers have been at this for 9 years. When I talk about people like Corey Kenshin, talking about people even like Kai Cenat, I'm talking about people like Markiplier, PewDiePie, right? Sorry if I butchered his name. That sounded weird, but all of these people have been at the game for years and years and years. That's not your competition. Your competition is you from yesterday. And truly just doing one thing better, that's what makes it, man. That's truly what makes it. And so that's why I'm here. This is my progress, I'm here and I'm putting out a video that I don't know how it'll perform. I'm saying a whole bunch of bullcrap. I'm a 17-year-old goof, bro. 17-year-old goofy, bro, who doesn't even know what he's talking about. But I think I need to put my ideas out, and I think that I have to understand that my ideas are never going to be perfect. I can keep refining them and doing whatever, but they're never going to be, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I don't know what any of this is, but this looks cool. Look what I'm holding. This looks cool. But yeah, these trees are tall as freak. Oh my goodness. Birds though. So yeah, I want to get to a high place though before like ending off the video, because I don't really have much more to say apart from things that have already been said or things that I've said. Hey cows. But yeah, and so I think also, oh, big tree. Hey guys, I think it's also important to try to apply what you've learned. And I think the way to apply, take away something from this video, if you do, is let yourself fail a little bit, try something, and I think that especially for those of us, I say us, I mean, yeah, art, YouTube is art, I would say. But yeah, so especially those of us in the art field, you really have to look at it as a passion thing, because man, life is already as hard as, what the hell? Oh, okay, what? Oh, okay, this is embarrassing. Though I swear I'm decent at video games. Chill. Can I not eat this? I can't eat this. What the hell? I think I'm gonna die like this. But especially for those in the art field, try to add some life to it. Because you might not be the best at it, but give it a try. You make it there. I feel like people who actually make it there are not people who are constantly fixating on how to make their art the best. Like me, I hope that one day I could make it there, and I think that comes from my own, progress, of course. But I think, ouch, that was loud. I think that if I'm focused on trying to make the best, finish eating it. Okay. Anyways, if I were to focus on making the top tier, highest quality video, I'm gonna burn myself out. And so for anybody in any field, because I also play tennis, I understand that time is important. I can't be the best in one day. And truly, if I do want to make it far in this place, if I want to focus on longevity and like enjoy doing this for as long time and become really good at what I do, it's gonna take a long time. It's going to take quite a while. So don't beat yourself up. Compare yourself to your worst. If you're better than your worst, then you did it. Congratulations, you're making progress. Because if you truly do that every day, if you're better than you were yesterday, every single day, you'll make it, bro. I promise you'll make it. All right. And here, let me try on some shaders. Yeah. Right. Oops. I think I just doxed myself. Did I have X-ray on? That was embarrassing. Guys, I don't use X-ray. Here we are. We'll try this one, I guess. Sorry guys, we're just gonna sit here. How y'all doing? Doing good? Alright, that's good to hear, you feel me? Alright. Oh, holy crap. Oh, that's nice. Oh, you guys can see my frames. It's not bad actually. Shout out to Optifine. The frames are not terrible at all. Wow, maybe I should have been playing like this the whole time, Alright, y'all. Well, I just want to say, thank you very much for watching. I love you very much. And in conclusion, comparing yourself to your best is healthy occasionally to recognize your potential, but you will never be able to reach your potential. Your entire potential is unreachable. We're talking about people at the pinnacle of their game, Corey Kenshin, Kai Cenat, Federer for tennis, we're talking about Messi, anything that you're looking at, right? I'm talking about those people. They have messed up many times. They are not as good as they could be if they didn't mess up, but they're still fantastic because they pushed past those things. It's okay to mess up. You're doing great. God loves you very much. I love you very much for watching this video. And I hope you have a fantastic day or night wherever you are. Thank you so much for watching. And bye-bye.